Outer Edge games.
Hello and welcome to another game I came up with while driving today. I thought I was thinking about things like the game of Tack, created by someone else, but Pat Rothfuss had a lot to do with that, I guess, from his Kingkiller Chronicles. And I was thinking how it would be neat to create a medieval style game, a fantasy world game, something that was, before printing sort of thing. And I've always had this idea of calling a game Sticks and Stones. I just thought that was neat. And I kind of came up with this game, I did come up with this game driving today. I don't know how well it plays. I've only played it once, like this, against myself, trying it. And I will give you an example of it here, playing also against myself. The basic premise is you have to get your 5 stones to the opposite player's back end. They have to get their 5 to yours, similar to checkers in that way. But in checkers, you crown your piece and then move backwards to try and kill the rest of them. You don't jump in this game. To give you a setup example, if I have a stone here and a stone here, I do not move diagonally to jump that stone, right? Which you would in checkers. In this game, the principle of it is the stones can only move in a forward and backward and left and right direction, one space at a time. The way you move diagonally is using sticks, like these. You put them diagonally across pieces. Let me change that to 45. There we go. You move them diagonally across pieces, which then when your stone lands there, it slides along it. Or if your stone happens to be there, when you drop a stick for your turn instead, it makes the stone move. So each turn you get to do one action, which is either move a stone or move a stick. You cannot move your stone back to the spot it was in. You cannot move your stone, the same stone, back to a spot it was just in. So for example, if we're in a situation like this, and I move this stone here to try and get it into the backfield, if this player then moves this stone here, I cannot automatically go back. This way I'm trying to eliminate that idea of in checkers when you have a couple people going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth constantly. And I think that kind of does mitigate that a little bit. So I'll give you an example. I don't know how fun or entertaining the game is, but I think it's neat to have this restriction of, you don't have custom playing cards and all these different pieces. This is like a, I guess based on the Royal Game of Ur, or the other one that I cannot remember right now, but it was the Egyptian game that they really don't know the rules for. And it'd be very simple. And in fact, the beauty of this one is you literally play it. They would have literally played it with sticks and stones, right? As you can see, I made a sand-looking game board. You would scrape a 5x5 grid into the sand, throw down 5 different colored stones on each side, and make sure you have 3 sticks each, and that's how you start playing. So without further ado, let's move some pieces around. So again, your goal is to try and get onto your opponent's backfield while they try and get onto your backfield, of course, and you're trying to block them. Just moving forward and backward, it can be done as well, but it's nice to use these sticks as like a little extra sort of thing. But you are limited to 3. Once your sticks are down, you cannot move them. And your opponent benefits from your sticks as well. So if you have a stick that helps them slide to a new location, they slide to that location as well. So now here I can move this rock here, blocking this forward motion, but if they move there, I cannot then move back to the spot I just came from. So I would not do that move. I would stay where I was, and maybe I would move another stone out to try and get into the field here. Obviously this player is going to move forward, and now their next turn they could throw a stick down here and get to the backfield. I would be expecting that, so most likely block it by moving this stone across. So now this player can only move backwards to get out of there. They cannot score. So that the dark stones moved, so now it's the white stones again, and let's move this guy, for example. Playing this sort of a game against yourself is super lame. You really don't get anywhere with it because you're like, I'm literally just moving pieces around. nothing is accomplishing anything, nothing is getting anywhere, because I know what the next move is. It's really just, it's literally just moving pieces. Oh, see, moving there does, yeah, okay, we move there. This player cannot move back to where he just moved, so they can move sideways. For purposes of demonstration, we'll get some sticks going here now. So by putting the stick in place, which yes says wall on it because these are not actual pieces I've made. They're from some other DLC for Tabletop Simulator. So it says rubble wall. It has allowed our stone to move diagonally and kind of get ahead of it now. So now that it's back to these stones, we're obviously going to try and block it. So the black stone will move there. I could put another stick and shoot this one this way, but I am kind of running out of sticks at this point. So instead I'll probably just move my white stone here, not allowing that to come back into that space. Now the black stones have to move. This guy's not going to move anywhere. Oh, actually, I guess he would move backwards most likely. Yeah, he would probably move back to defend that area. Yeah, that would be the right move, which then gives these stones a chance to move. Right, so we move forward. He stays there unless I want to throw down another stick. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the dark stone's turn now. If this dark stone moves here, I think the way the game would be played is they can choose to use the stick or not. I don't think it should be forced. But then again, maybe that's part of the strategy too, is now moving here forces them back a little bit, which would be an interesting gameplay aesthetic. I tried also doing the game with just stones. I thought of a whole like growth of this game, right? It started with stones, then sticks and stones. It's kind of boring just moving stones forward, backward, left, and right. But it was interesting. It had its moments too. Again, playing against myself like this, it was quite limited. So let's move this stone over here, leaving ourselves open here, which is fine. That's, for purposes of demonstration. We'll drop a stick, which instantly moves this stone here. We've now scored a point. We've gotten one of our stones across. It is now these guys that are trying to kind of on a clock to get their stones scoring as well. So of course I'm going to move forward quickly. This stone would move to block. For the purposes of demonstration, they will also score. So now we're back to the white stones. There's not much they can do unless they move more from the backfield here. The dark stones really have a good defense built up. So we'll move the stone here, I guess. Doesn't really do much. I think the idea with the game too is once your stone has reached the other side, it does not move. It's a dead stone. It's made it to, the other world or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, the other place basically. So now they would have to move one of these off the back row. Most likely you want to move it furthest away from the white stone, because you don't want them to have an easy go of getting a point. Now the white stone cannot move back, so it can't race that way quickly to take advantage of that. So we can either move it around or we can move another one off the back. And I think we're going to move another one off the back here to try and get some stuff going. And we're going to come across, and we're going to go forward, and then we're going to come across again. Again, I think they should be able to choose to use the sticks. Maybe not. I mean, it would be a much more interesting gameplay if they were forced to, when they land here, they have to use the stick, which would then mean I would move forward instead and slide back to this position. That would be through game testing, I guess. But, I mean, who wants to game test a game that could have been an ancient game? So I'm not totally sold on that yet. Who did the last move now? I should have paid attention to that. I'm going to assume white made the moves, which means we've got another stone that made it across on the darker side. And now the white stones can start moving forward in their attack, I guess you would call it, to try and get in place. Dark stones have to move. Best bet is probably move to the side. So then when this stone moves forward one more, no, we'd move this stone side. Well, that stone kind of has this guy locked in right now, so we'll keep that there. When this moves forward, this guy can move there to block. This cannot move back to the spot it just came from. But if this moves over there, then this gets a point without using a stick. So you're not going to want to do that as that player. You're going to want to try and do some other move, which there's not really much more they can do. So I guess they're going to have to move this piece forward, or move that one and give it up. I think they're going to move this forward, forcing this player to either use a stick or to move an extra space across, which they can do too, and that would work. So they can move across here. And then playing defensively, actually, if they did, let's do that. They would drop a stick, instantly throwing themselves back here to defend. Now this player has to move over one more to be able to get in, to get their point. And I think that's what we're going to do. Move one more over. No, we're going to move this guy over, which then frees up some room. Oh, I had that guy boxed in, I forgot. Well, this guy could get out now. But that would cause a problem there, maybe. Because that opens it up for him to get in. See, right now, kind of stuck, right? Either one of these you move, they're going to score. But we would probably move this one, forcing the light-colored stones to use a stick to score. So now they have two on the back. They're tied, basically, 2-2. Now the dark stones can start going on the offensive over here. And this light stone is out of sticks. So this light stone would have to move over. Whoops, move over. Which would then allow this stone to move into block. This part I haven't figured out yet exactly. I'm guessing their next turn they can choose to slide along there, which would give them the point anyways, I guess. But either way, I think that would be the idea. I don't think they'd have to. I think they should have to move onto the spot, I should say, to use the stick. So being here does not trigger the stick once there's a free spot on the other side. I think they have to move off of that spot. Unfortunately, they cannot move back here because that's where they just came from. So they actually have to move away from the backfield, giving some room. But now this player here cannot go back to defend. This player you'd have to move this piece over to defend it, because you want to block this guy from coming here and sliding right in on the next turn. So by moving there now, this player is blocked out. And we have to move another white stone from somewhere. Well, not necessarily. We can just move sideways with that one. And then this black stone, I guess, sorry, it would have triggered that last time and slid along there. So it would be here now. Sorry. And then it can start trying to move to a position like over here. It has one stick left to try and accelerate and get the point. I think the idea would be you want to hold on to your sticks to the end as much as you can. But for the purposes of demonstration, oops, that's not the right key. That is. He would go there on his next turn to score a point. But we're not on his next turn, I just realized. It is the white stone's turn. So this white stone will move here, right? Now this stone's not going to move across because then it doesn't allow it to move back. I guess it would, because if that, I think we're going to try and move the dark stones. So this dark stone is going to go, I mean the offensive stone. So that's going to move over. Oh, is it? No, it's not. Sorry. We're going to do this, right? Throw a stick down. There we go. 3 points. It's 3 points for the dark stones. It's a light stone's turn. They might as well move out from the field here. Whoops. And now the dark stones have to move, and they have to move one of these two. Most likely you would move this one forward because you know what light stones are out of sticks. They cannot score that way. And then the light stone has to move again. Probably move this one over. And I think it triggers and slides. That's what I said would happen. Then we take a dark stone has to move again. So if this dark stone moves out of the way, they score instantly. If this dark stone moves forward, they move over and have a chance to, well, they just keep cycling there, I guess, which is probably what we'll do. So this stone will move forward. This player would move here, causing that one to move over there. Yeah, see, it's a strange assortment of sticks. We put them in the wrong spots. Instead, this here will start trekking over this way. Dark stone will go across, which limits the light stone's movement. So now this light stone goes forward, and now once this dark stone moves, one of these two will have to score. This dark stone will go this way, light stone that way. Now it forces the hand of this dark stone to block one of the two, or not. Obviously, that's a choice. And the smart move would actually, yeah, it doesn't really matter which way it goes. So it would block here, let's say. They would want to score the light stone next. This dark stone could try and move back here to block, to get in the way, but I don't think that's going to work. So we'll just try and move forward and get points, which would involve moving here. The light stone then would move over this way. Would it? Yeah, it would move that way. They would probably move the dark stone to block. The light stone cannot move back there. They could come off the backfield here again, which is probably the right way to go because they know this stone is one step behind everything, right? So then this stone would move across. Light stone moves forward. Dark stone scores. Light stone starts goes this way, let's say. And now this dark stone has to move. Moving here. Light stone scores. And now the dark stone can try and defend this area from this stone coming into play. But there's only so much it can do. Oh, see, it moved forward. Now when this one moves here, it cannot move back to that spot. We have no stick to draw it back into here, which means it has to move in a different direction. And now it is the light stone's game. Sorry, I should have. It moves here, dark stone moves wherever, and then light stone scores. And the light colors win. I don't know if that's a great game or not. It does seem sort of like something that would have been invented either in a medieval fantasy world or in real life. But that is my idea for Sticks and Stones. And I think this is kind of an interesting challenge for people to come up with a game that could have been made or would have been made or played, you know, hundreds of years ago, like or maybe thousands, I guess, thousands if we're talking about like the game of Ur and I wish I could remember the name of that Egyptian one, whatever that one was called. Anyways, I think that would be I think that'd be a great design challenge for people, and maybe I'll suggest it on some of those board game things. Maybe Board Game Design Lab Plus. That'd be a very nice thing for us to all work on there. Anyways, that's Sticks and Stones. Hope you enjoyed watching. Follow the channel for like opening packs of like other like real games like Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, Genesis, Battle of Champions, things like that. Should have MetaZook stuff coming soon to open too. You know, why not? It's only money. Throw it away at crap like that. And other of my game inventions. I'm joining the 18 card RPG challenge this month. I think it's this month. Yeah, end of June. So that I'll post a video about that at some point and how that's going. Working through some bugs right now to get that into that design contest, as well as a couple other games I'm working on, little demos of I can show off at some point. Let me know what you think in the comments. Send me messages anytime you want, and if you would like to play any of these on Tabletop Simulator against me to have some to help me play test some of them, let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.